In this lesson unit, we're going to talk about legal correspondence, mostly with letters. We're also going to talk about cover letters. It talked a little bit about that in there, but obviously one of the most important things for y'all looking forward is a cover letter for a job. So I am going to talk about that today a good bit. Keep in mind that you've heard me say this 100 times, but it's got to look professional. It's got to be no extra spacings, no weird fonts. It just needs to look professional. There's many examples in the book, and I posted also an example of a cover letter in this lesson unit. Try to follow that format. Keep it looking concise. Keep it looking professional. Again, I can't tell you the amount of resumes that I've looked through with cover letters that are really bad, and sadly, we just toss them out because if a person doesn't look professional, their cover letter, then what do we think? As professionals, we say they're probably not going to cut it. If they didn't take the time to really do a really nice cover letter to send to us to try to get a job, we're probably not going to consider them because they probably wouldn't do it once they got the job. So read over it, 100 times. And, while you don't want to have a canned cover letter each time, like, hey, here's my resume, and then just say generic things every single time, you do want to have a format to go by. And the format I posted is pretty good. Obviously you can take away some of that stuff, but if you don't like certain sentences, but you really can follow that format if you'd like, carrying forward in the future. Obviously, we want short paragraphs. You hear me say that all the time. We want topic sentences. You want smooth transitions. Each paragraph should talk about, a consistent theme, right? It doesn't need to just have, every sentence doesn't need to be talking about something completely unrelated. So make sure it follows that theme. We want short sentences. We don't want long sentences. Nobody likes long sentences. They're hard to read. They're confusing. It needs to have proper grammar. Obviously, spell check. Do that a good bit, but you got to have simple sentences. So when in a cover letter for a job to a company, you want to make sure that you're talking about yourself a good bit. You don't want to just restate your resume. You want to pull out nuggets from your resume, obviously, but important things to talk about in each paragraph and how you can be an effective employee for whomever you're sending it. So I want you to think about using active voice like we've talked about. Try that as well. If you use a little bit of passive, it'll be fine, but you really want to try to create a personal connection. If there's somebody there, obviously touch base with them first, but you may want to talk about maybe they've shared their experience with you, and or maybe you want to discuss the reputation of that firm or the certain types of things they do. Maybe find an important case. I hate to say this, but some people like to be praised, right? And so you may want to praise a big case that the firm has done from their website or from the news, and you may want to praise that in there. They like to hear that, and that also shows that you're taking that extra step. You're not just sending out 100 resumes to 100 different law firms, right? So you want to make that personal connection where they're like, hey, this person actually took the time to research our firm. They actually know something, and they're not lazy. They did a little research. It may not take them 10 minutes, but hey, it's 10 minutes more than probably the next person who sent just a canned cover letter. Okay, so going forward on this chapter and talks about the types of letters, and obviously, I want you to look at all those. They're all important. Confirmation letters are important because they avoid misunderstandings, and it creates a paper trail. Paper trails are very important in the law. You really have to back up a lot of things you say and do a lot of times where there are no misunderstandings, and you're going to have multiple cases going on, and if you speak on the phone with someone, you may forget what happened and may forget a meeting or something. So it's always good to just shoot out an email or a cover letter. It's not a cover letter, confirmation letter or confirmation email back to that person confirming the things that you discuss. I've had it happen to me with other attorneys where we thought we had an agreement and really we weren't agreeing to the same thing. So, a confirmation email, they pick up the phone, wait a minute, that's not exactly what I meant. it's cleared up a lot of confusion in the past. So it's an important thing. It's also an important thing with billing clients. It creates a paper trail where you have basically a receipt for your bill. If there's ever anything question about billing, then you can show, hey, this is what I did. So don't use contractions in any type of letters. I meant to mention that earlier. Don't use long paragraphs. I think I already mentioned that. So then, appointment letters, those kind of speak for themselves. You got the letters to clients that will provide updates. You got opinion letters. You got demand letters. In opinion letters, you're going to predict what you may think the court will do. You want to avoid legalese because a lot of times these are not lawyers reading this. Your client is not a lawyer. They don't want to hear a bunch of legal terms, right? So don't use the jargon to try to sound professional. Just dumb it down to as simplistic possible use. So just speak, completely normal, and don't use legal jargon. And one thing I wanted to mention, the demand letter, be professional. Always be professional. Don't be rude. Nobody wants to, attorneys obviously are known as smart alecks. Nobody wants to deal with a smart aleck attorney. Most of the time, attorneys are, even in the most contentious situations or cases, you have to be cordial with the other attorney. I can't tell you how far that'll get you. It doesn't matter how bad it gets. You may have a case the next time where you're on the same side, or even if you're not on the same side, it may be a smooth case that helps both of you. I mean, look, bottom line is this is just work, and we have to be professional. In the demand letter, it'll have the facts, you'll have the discussion of law, you'll have itemization of damages, and then you'll have a demand at the end. So you may do a demand email as well. So again, be professional. When you send an email, you may be mad at the other attorney, and you may send an email really quickly. Remember that it's there forever, and it's there just that he or she can show the court things you said. So keep in mind, you must be professional. Really good assessment at the very end of your chapter, page 41. I'm sorry, not 41, but excuse me, the page 411, and the use of brackets. That's really important in legal, and especially when you're quoting things. Because you may need that sentence to adapt to your set of facts, and so you may want to put in a bracket to adapt to that. But yeah, take a look at that. It's pretty self-explanatory. But if anybody has any questions about letters, please let me know. Email me. Thank you.